When Jeremy inherited the old pocket watch from his grandfather, he had been told of its grim lore by older family members. They whispered about the watch's uncanny ability to foretell the exact time of its owner's demise. Many, including Jeremy, had brushed off the tales as mere superstitious ramblings. After all, how could an inanimate object, no matter how old or ornate, predict such a thing? But curiosity is a strange thing. One evening, while sipping on his wine and gazing at the watch, Jeremy decided to wind it up. The hands began to spin wildly, moving faster and faster, creating an almost hypnotic dance. He watched with a mixture of fascination and horror until the hands finally came to a sudden stop, pointing ominously at 3:15. The weight of the legends surrounding the watch settled on him like a cold shroud. That night, Jeremy's dreams were plagued with shadowy figures and echoing laughter, as if from another time. He found himself in an ancient fog-covered graveyard. Each tombstone bore a time inscribed upon it, and Jeremy felt an unyielding pull towards a freshly dug grave. As he approached, he saw a watch identical to his grandfather's embedded in the soil. Its hands pointed to 3:15. Panicking, he tried to flee, but his movements were sluggish, as if moving through molasses. As the clock in the dream began to chime, a skeletal hand burst from the ground, reaching for him. Jerking awake, he saw the crimson digits of his bedside clock shift from 3:14 a.m. to 3:15 a.m. The room felt colder, the shadows deeper. The silence was punctuated only by the faint rhythmic ticking of the pocket watch from the table beside him. Shaken by the nightmare and the synchronicity of the time, Jeremy decided to consult a local historian, Miss Evelyn, known for her vast knowledge of antiques and their stories. As he laid the watch in her palm, her face turned a shade paler. She spoke of its origin, a watchmaker in the 18th century whose love was taken from him by a cruel twist of fate. In his despair, he made a pact with dark forces, embedding a part of his soul into the watch, hoping it would give him control over time and death. But all he received was the curse of foreseeing death without the power to prevent it. Evelyn warned Jeremy of the watch's influence. It didn't just predict death. It was drawn to it, feeding off the energy of the departed. Jeremy, skeptical yet disturbed, decided to lock the watch away. But each night, the nightmares persisted. The ticking seemed to echo throughout his house, a constant reminder of the impending 3:15 a.m. One evening, in a fit of frustration and fear, Jeremy took the watch to a bridge, intending to throw it into the river below. But as he held it over the railing, an icy grip held his wrist. Turning around, he was met with the hollow eyes of the watchmaker, his face a decaying testament to the passage of time. "You cannot escape it," the figure rasped. "Time catches up to us all." Panicking, Jeremy wrestled free, dropping the watch into the river. The figure disappeared, leaving Jeremy alone in the chilling wind of the night. Relieved, Jeremy returned home, hoping to finally find peace. But at precisely 3:14 a.m., he was awakened not by a nightmare, but by the distant sound of ticking. Scrambling to turn on the light, he found the pocket watch, gleaming and untouched by the river's waters, on his bedside table. Its hands were inching closer to 3:15. The next morning, Jeremy was found in a state of shock, clutching the watch. Though physically unharmed, he never spoke another word, his eyes forever haunted by the inexorable march of time.